Hello everyone, welcome to Winged Paper Crafting. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you've stopped by my YouTube channel. Today we're going to do our 8th set of alternatives for the July 2025 Paper Pumpkin Kit called Sweeter With You. And here are the 8 cards that you could have made had you done them as intended. And we're going to change ours up a little bit. So before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that the current subscription period for the September Paper Pumpkin Kit is going on through the 10th of September. So you've got about a week if you want to get in on the fun. There will be a link in the description below to sign up. And this month's Paper Pumpkin is going to coordinate with this beautiful suite that just went live today, actually the 3rd of September, called Fall for Twall. And this is just beautiful. I've seen some people show this on the internet, and it is definitely on my bucket list to get. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. Let's see. Let's start with this one here. This is kind of a simple one. So I've got, let's see, oops, I've got a bunch of stuff here. So I've got a card base here that I made out of Granny Apple Green, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and give it a good burnish here. I've got a piece of white for the inside that's 4 by 5 1/4. And I've got a piece of garden green cardstock that I cut to 5 by 4 1/4 that we're going to put on the outside of our card before we start building with all of our little goodies here. So let's go ahead and get this put down. Just going to use my Stampin' Seal to put the cardstock on here. So we'll go ahead and get this right here in the middle. And then we're going to, I've got these little 2 pieces of Pool Party and White little rectangle pieces that came in the kit. So we're just going to put ours on the front of our card like this. So we can go ahead and get those down. And I'm just going to try to center this left to right. And between the two, I want to kind of center top to bottom. So we'll need to move this one up just a little bit here. So basically, I'm looking for the center all the way around. So that looks pretty good. Okay, so we'll give those a pat down there, and that just moved the whole thing. Oh my goodness, come on. Maybe I'll move this one down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so there's that layer. Now, except it's crooked. Hang on. Don't like crooked. There. Okay, that looks much better. Okay. Except it doesn't look better. It still looks crooked. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's straighten this one up. And then we'll put this right up against that one. Maybe the line on that isn't quite right. I'm going to give this just a tad bit more seal there to keep that edge down. Okay, that looks much better. All right. Now, I've got a happy birthday that I cut out of the Wanted to Say dies. So this is the same thing that we used yesterday, except instead of the Feel Better Soon, I did the happy birthday. So I backed it in white. So we're going to put that in the middle. And we've got 3 of the large strawberries that came in the kit. And I have 3 of these flowers that I cut using the add-on dies. So this little flower right here out of Pool Party. So we're going to put those on here as well. So let's see. Let's go ahead and get this down. I'm going to go ahead and use liquid glue. I'm going to put a tad bit right here in the corner because our corner does not want to stay down. There we go. So I'm just going to use liquid glue on this. Don't need a lot, just kind of a little bit. And we're going to center this right across here. So basically that covers up our line of where we put these two pieces of paper together. So you can't really even tell that it's not just one piece. So that's pretty cool. Okay. I think we need a little more glue. Not only on the bottom, but even on our Y that keeps wanting to escape here. Okay, maybe we're good now. All right. And yet, I don't think we are. Okay, perfect. Except it keeps sticking to my finger and not. Okay, more glue, more glue, more glue. Okay, we'll get that in there. I'll wipe off the excess glue because now we have too much. It's either not enough or too much, isn't it? Okay, there we go. Finally. All right, so let's get our little Y up here on the... There. Okay. All right, so now we're going to put our strawberries down. I think I want to pop them up on some dimensionals. So we will put a couple on each one of these. And one more here. Oops. I'm going to have to cut some edges before we're done. All right. So I'll get the backs off. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out where I want them. I'm not pushing them down real hard yet. I want to make sure I like where we've put them before I commit. All right, one more. We'll put this one. Where oh where? Let's see. What if we do something like this at the bottom, and then we'll put our one up here in the corner, kind of like that. Okay, so there's our strawberries. Now, our little blue pool party flowers, I'm going to take and just bend the edges up. So we're going to give these a little definition before we put them down. And this is easy to do with your fingers. It doesn't take a lot to just give that a little extra something something. So dot of glue. And we'll get these down. And then we'll see what we want to do about a gem. Let's see, one more. Maybe, let's see. Where oh where? Maybe like right there. Okay, so there's that. Now, I've got these strawberry slush and Pretty in Pink gems that we've been using. So I'm thinking, let's see. I'm still thinking I want to use the clear ones. So we'll do, actually I think I'm going to do little. I'm going to do little ones because I want to put them in the middle of our little flower here. Another one right there. And one more up here. Okay, cool. All right, now we just need to stamp on the inside of our card. So I did, let's see, happy birthday on the outside, and I'm going to do love you lots on the inside. We're going to go ahead and do this in Poppy Parade, which is the color that I cut the Happy Birthday out of, if I didn't mention that. So that is Poppy Parade, which does coordinate with the color that the strawberries are that came in the kit. Okay, so let's go ahead and line our paper up here. See if I can get this down straight. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to put the ink away. And we'll go ahead and get this on the inside, and this card will be done. Very quick. So we'll just get this in here. Just like that. And then we're good. Alright, so there's our first card. Too cute. Alright, the second card. We are going to have a few different pieces here. So I've got a card base. This was 8.5 by 5.5. Scored once at 4 1/4, and then again at 2 1/8. Okay, so basically you're just folding this part back on itself. So we're going to give both of these a good burnish. Do the best we can make that to lay down flat. Okay. Now, on the inside, I've got a piece of white. That's 2 by 5 1/4. And this is going to go here. So this is going to be for our sentiment and, a signature. Then I've got another piece of white that's also 2 by 5 1/4 that I have stamped on. So the stamp that came in the set, in the kit, that was this little flower right here, I stamped on in Garden Green to make my own pattern paper. And I think it just turned out so cute. So we're going to put that on this edge. And then I've got a piece of Granny Apple Green again. That's, looks like it's about 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And I ran this through the Starstruck embossing folder that makes these pretty little flower designs. And we're going to put that on the inside here so that when you open your card, you're going to have a nice surprise on the inside. So let's do some stamping first. This is going to go on the outside here, and then we're going to build strawberries on top of it. But I also want to stamp on this, so let's do some stamping. We're going to stamp in Garden Green. Move my strawberries to the side there. And on the outside, I'm going to do thank you. So in the Garden Green, we are going to stamp on our envelope piece. This was part of the envelope flap. And I'm just going to stamp basically as close to the middle as I can. So just like that. So we've got thank you. Okay. Yeah, that turned out well. Okay, good. So, then on the inside, we're going to do You're the Best. So I'm going to ink this up. And we'll get this straight on here. And I'm just going to put this near the top. You're the best. Okay. I'm going to put the ink away. We might actually get through an entire video with no ink disasters. That would be a record. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and put the inside of our card together. So, all right, I'm going to put it like that. I'm going to put seal on our embossed piece here. And we're going to go ahead and get this on this flap right here. And I'm just centering. And then this piece next. And we'll get this right pretty close to the fold, but not so that it interferes with the fold. And trying to line up top and bottom with our Granny Apple Green piece here. And then this piece will go right here. So again, pretty close to our sentiment piece here. But I need to move this over just a tad bit because we don't want it hanging off the edge of our card out here. So I think I need to scoot the white one over at the bottom just a little bit here. Let's just bring this over here. That gives us a little more room to get our piece on the edge here. There we go. Okay. So there's our inside. Now, this is going to go on the front flap here. So we'll go ahead and put some seal on this. And I'm going to line the straight edge up against this fold on the left, which makes it just fit on that perfectly. Okay. Now we got some strawberries. So I cut these out of the dies that came in the kit. I've got a rogue strawberry. Here we go. So not in the kit. These were the add-on dies. So I cut the strawberry out of Poppy Parade and the piece that goes on the bottom that shows through out of Crumb Cake. And then the topper was out of Granny Apple Green. And then I got some white flowers for this one that I cut. And there's one of them. These little white flowers get onto my desk. Here they are. My desk is white and I lose them quite frequently. Okay. So I glued two of our strawberries together already just to kind of save some time. So I'm just going to show you how I did this on this last one. So I took fine tip glue here and I'm just going to dot up on our red berry piece, and we will line that up onto our crumb cake piece. And the liquid glue gives us a little bit of wiggle room to maneuver this to make sure it's covering the way it should. So just like that. And then I'm going to put glue right at the base of our green stem. And we'll just put that right there. And again, the liquid glue lets you kind of wiggle it around until you get it where you want it. Okay, so that looks good. All right, now we can put the lid back on the fine tip glue because it clogs up very quickly if you don't. Okay, so now let's get our strawberries down. So I'm going to start with these two. So I'm going to let that one kind of dry for a second. So I'm going to put some... actually, I want to pop these up. So let's get some dimensionals. Let's see if we've got a couple of whole ones in here. So here's one. And here's another whole one. And do we have one more? We do. One more whole one that we'll put on the back of this one. Okay, so peel the backs off. And I'll get the back off of this one. Okay, now I'm thinking. I'm not really sure how I want to do these yet. Something like this, maybe. Let's see, maybe like that there. This one down here. And this one kind of like that. Let's do that. All right, that looks cute. Now, same thing with these little white flowers. The same thing I did with the blue pool party ones. I'm just going to bend the edges up and give them some definition. And one more. All right, and then we'll get some glue on the back of these. Just a little dot. It doesn't take much for these. Let's see, I think we'll put one here. And one over here. And our third one, where are we going to put this one? Let's see, how about right here? Okay. If it'll stick to the paper, not my finger. All right, there we go. Now, let's see. We've got, what color? I think I want to do these darker strawberry slush ones. Except I want to do little, not big. The big ones kind of overpower the little flower, so I'm going to do little ones. Just to give it a little bit of shine. Because you can't have too much sparkle and shine. Let's move that one over in the middle. There we go. One more right there. So cute. Okay, so here are our 2 cards for today. Very cute. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. We've got one more set of alternatives for this kit. And then on Friday, we're going to do a Fun Fold Friday. So we're going to start that this Friday. And then hopefully we can make that an every Friday thing. And then next week, we'll start into August's Paper Pumpkin Kit. So, that's all I have for tonight. You know, leave me a comment below and let me know which one of these was your favorite. I think I like this one. I like them both, but I really like this one because I like the pattern paper that we made. So let me know what yours is, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a crafty evening. Bye.